Hello, hello, my beautiful soul family. We meet yet again in this beautiful time space momentum of now that we are here and able to co create with one another. And it's such a beautiful thing. I thank you, as always, for joining me in this space. I also thank you for taking part in taking an effort in you by opening yourself up to the analytics of you, by opening yourself up to the resonance of the things that touch the core value of our souls here in these earthly vessels in which carry our souls. It's so crucial that we acknowledge things that bother us just as we acknowledge the things that please us. And in this space today, I will be talking about something that I find very important to the core of the surface and the core of the inner self of me. Something that really it's almost like a trauma trigger to some extent. And I want to share my trauma with you because someone somewhere out there may find resonance in this same energy as well. So, as always, I ask that if you enjoy my content, if you enjoy my presence, most definitely be sure to follow me online. You can find me under Tarology. You can follow me and find me under Terrestrial Aura on all social media platforms. If you're watching this on YouTube, they're listed right here beside me. You can find me on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, and so many more places. So again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking your time to embrace my energy as I embrace yours. And for today's topic, it's something I actually just recently tweeted on. I'll also share the tweet right here if you're watching this on YouTube, so you can see what I'm referring to. But the topic is love and the complexities of learning another's love language and why that is. Why is it that we overcomplicate things as simple as learning another's love language, listening to our partners, hearing them out, understanding where they're coming from, and acknowledging that? And is this something that many relationships are overlooking, or is this something that people are acknowledging and realizing how much it can heal not only a relationship, but heal a person and heal each partner in the relationship by simply being aware and active in assisting your partner rather than resisting your partner. So in love and in relationships in general, there are so many elements, there are so many different factors, and oftentimes we all have differences. These differences do not make us weak. It doesn't make us less than. It's simply just, it makes us who we are. And maybe not even weaknesses, so to speak. Maybe these things aren't weaknesses. Maybe these things are personality traits. We all have our characteristics. We all have our traits. But whenever you are with a partner, it is so important that said partner acknowledges what these personality traits are of you and you do of them equally. So that way you can find a median in between the energies to become consciously aware and in action in taking part in helping the relationship be the best that it can be. In situations such as a partner having an issue with something specific, not so much something because of you, but something because of a core value and belief within them. And whenever you acknowledge these things to your partner, and your partner gives no regard to what you're saying, completely goes against it and does exactly what you're telling them bothers you the most, it's not so much about control over the partner and wanting them to change the ways that they are, but is it not one of the most beautiful forms of love language to acknowledge, hear, and see and understand your partner, to see where they're coming from, and to acknowledge the value of what they feel, and at least take the most simple actions that you can to avoid that conflict of interest, because you already know that it's an issue for them? Do you feel that it's important for a partner to give that as a love language? Sometimes the most simple thing that someone can do for another is give them acknowledgement, awareness, and understanding. Are you doing that for you first, we must ask? And then we go from that and ask, are you doing that for your significant others and those that you love? Or are you simply omitting what they're saying and running off as if you can't handle what they have to say, instead of acknowledging without feeling guilt, without feeling shame, simply acknowledging it? Whether it be, okay, I'm going to take action and do this a little differently just because I know it really bothers you when I do this. Or it could be as simple as, this is why I do this. And I want you to understand that it has nothing to do with you, and I see it from my point of view, and this is something about myself that I refuse to change. And sometimes those refusals can lead to an understanding or a separation. It just depends on the significance of the situation at hand. But is it not a love language to be able to hear your partner out without getting aggressive, without getting upset, and simply bringing awareness to what these issues are? The thing is, in life, we overcomplicate so many things here as humans, so many things. And it's almost as if it's our nature to be this way, because we feel that there's something so deep-rooted in what others say or how they believe, and it's directed towards you. But instead, what if the things that are inside of these other people are actually directed to themselves? And they're simply trying to express their love to you by showing you how to love them. And instead of actually taking that energy in and understanding, like, okay, this significantly bothers my partner, my significant other, my lover, my friend, my this person that I care about. What if it's not always about you? What if it's about them and how they feel? And what if you showing them that you're disregarding everything that they're saying is actually hindering your relationship more than you could ever imagine? Because sometimes it could be the most simple thing. Say, for instance, you have a partner and they do this thing like that really bothers you. Like, say you have some OCD and you don't really like germs or things like that, or you care a lot about like what you touch and then you put into your mouth or things like that because you kiss your partner and you don't want your partner to like touch really dirty things and then like touch their mouth and then touch you and kiss you or things like that. Anything. It could be something so simple as that, right? And you bring awareness to the situation, and then the partner completely just ignores you. And they just put it on the back burner because to them it doesn't matter. But to you it matters so deeply because you're looking at it almost like, well, you don't respect me in a way to show me that you can answer to my love language by simply just washing your hands, by simply just not doing these things, or something so simple. That's just an example, and there's no tie to that example other than it just being something just to give something to be able to give you an idea of something so simple that can be considered a love language. Something so simple as, I really wish that whenever you did this, you could at least do this, just in return to be able to honor the sacredness that I have for myself and the way that I believe. And in return, you give that same love to them on the things that they believe. But instead, so many times people, they get upset and they feel as if it's a direct target towards them because you care about you. So what I'm challenging you to take from this podcast, a very, very simple challenge, guys, is simply looking at your partner, looking at your significant other, looking at the ones that you love, hearing them out, acknowledge the things that they're telling you that bother them, because people don't just go around and tell you what bothers them unless they actually really want you to understand them. So if someone that you love tells you something that bothers them, all I'm asking is that you just simply hear them out. No one's here to change you. But the thing is, a relationship, a commitment, a partnership, a love, it does take mutual reception, and it does take respect, and it does take balance, and it takes listening to the person, but not only just listening to the person, but also acknowledging the issues to be able to change the energy and make sure that the energy is cleared in a way that is understood on both ends. So if this is something that you're facing or that you're dealing with, I want you to know, simply listening to your partner is a love language. Simply respecting your partner is a love language. Simply doing the most silly things sometimes can be like the ultimate gift and present to the presence that you share with your partner. And when we overlook these things because instead we feel targeted or we feel like we're being put down, it doesn't help anyone, because A, it doesn't give a resolution, and B, it just shows lack of care to the other partner. And then you have two partners that are equally bruised, equally hindered, equally traumatized. And for what purpose? Because you didn't give the present of being present with them and seeing where they're coming from and hearing them out. Is that worth it to you? Is it worth it to sacrifice a relationship over something that could be so simple? Something as simple as, okay, I see where you're coming from. Just some food for thought, guys. But okay, I love you guys so much, and I thank you for joining me in this space and embracing me as I embrace you, and giving me the energy to be able to be of resonance on a soul level with you, and to be able to touch on these random topics that we touch on so frequently. And as always, again, I ask that you follow me on all of my social media platforms, listed here if you're watching me on YouTube. And I ask that you also check me out on Patreon. I do have a group event coming up on May 1st, 2022. So if you're hearing this and it's past that time, you can always come back in, check it out. No pressure, but definitely I would love to see you there. And I thank you, as always, for being you, being true to yourself, and acknowledging that your love language does matter. And love language is so much more than material, so much more than words. It's about depth, and it's about feeling the partner that you have and seeing where they're coming from, even when it's something that seems super simple to you. Because what seems simple to you may be something very important to them. And that's exactly why we overcomplicate the most simplistic things of love by simply overlooking another's feelings of how that love looks to them. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And until we meet again,